Hello, and welcome to Chabot News for this Thursday, February 16th of 2023. My name is Chris Reynolds, and today we'll be covering acts of kindness from our boys in blue, transit troubles, and Rihanna's Super Bowl baby shower. All that and more coming up on today's edition of Chabot News. At some point in life, we've all experienced a terrible day, a bad day, a horrible day. We've all been there. Nothing goes right, and it feels like it's you against the world. Our first story is about a driver experiencing just that, and how Michigan law enforcement officers came to their rescue and went above and beyond the call of duty to help. This touching moment was captured for us on the police body cam earlier this month. Macomb County Sheriff deputies responded to a call about a motorist on the side of the road. A passerby was concerned that the driver had passed out at the wheel. When Deputy Thorne and paramedics investigated, they found that the man was crying. He said that he was going through some personal issues. The deputies asked him what they could do to help, and the man said, "I could use a hug."
Is there anything I can do to help you?
I could use a hug.
I'll give you a hug.
The deputies did just that. And then stayed for 20 minutes comforting him. Besides that powerful hug, they also provided him with additional resources and contacts to help him through these difficult times. If you ever feel sad or like you need someone to talk to, you can call or text 988 to connect to the mental health professional. That number again was to call or text 988 to be connected to a mental health professional. And now a blast from the past is returning to television soon. Angelisa has the latest in entertainment news.
Thanks, Chris. He loves you if you still love him. That's right, Barney is coming back. Mattel announced it is launching a new Barney TV show, but this time the purple dinosaur will be animated. It sounds like they're betting on a hit. There will be merchandising to go along with the new show, including toys, clothes, and books. Production of the original Barney show stopped in 2010. After 18 years on the air, if you grew up with that version of Barney and still have retro love for it, there will also be old school Barney toys and swag. Mattel is likely counting on some of that after the company gained the interest of adults when it brought back Masters of the Universe and Monster High. Mattel says it has already secured broadcast and streaming partners for the show, but did not say who they are. A new video game lets players live out their fantasies of attending a school which a young man named Harry Potter attended. Rick DeMagella reports.
Take this. Find them.
Put down your butterbeer and ready your wands because Wizarding School is in session in Hogwarts Legacy.
Can't believe I'm here.
It's an open world game set in the 1800s where you are playing as a latecomer student. You're actually a fifth-year student arriving at the school, and the reason why you're arriving late is a little bit of a mystery.
In light of your unique situation, joining us as a fifth year, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success.
Really what we want to do is create like a space for all of our players to tell their own story as a hero, but it's finally that chance. I think so many fans have read the books and wondered what it would be like if they were in the shoes of the protagonist.
Professor Weasley has asked that your professors give you instruction outside of the ordinary curriculum.
The game is set more than a century before Harry Potter attended Hogwarts, for good reason.
One of the big drivers for us setting it in that time period was just making sure that you were the focus. So you're not being overshadowed by characters that you already know. We're really trying to set the stage for you are the hero, and the things that you do have never been seen before. They're not being overshadowed by other characters.
The path we're on is terribly dangerous. But I do not know where it leads.
Leveling Up in Hollywood, I'm Rick DeMagella.
Hogwarts Legacy is out for Windows, PlayStation 5, and Xbox Series X and S gaming consoles. That is it for entertainment news this week. I'm Angelisa Dominguez. Now back to Chris with some Bay Area news.
Thank you, Angelisa. The San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, or SFMTA, is warning that they could face a deficit of hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in a few years when the federal pandemic funding runs out. For example, federal funding is what kept Muni afloat during the pandemic when the ridership plummeted due to everyone being stuck at home. But that federal funding is set to run out by 2025. And if other news sources aren't found, the SFMTA said that Muni could expect a $214 million deficit in just 3 years, and the San Francisco Chronicle reported. That could mean drastic reductions in service and cutting back on about a quarter of Muni services. An average of more than 360,000 people ride Muni to get around San Francisco every week. And BART ridership is also well below pre-pandemic levels. On Monday, it was about 34% of normal. Representatives from the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, a Bay Area regional group that oversees transit agencies, will bring together representatives from BART, Muni, and other agencies on Wednesday morning to discuss the financial cliff that transit agencies are facing and what to do about it. A Half Moon Bay mushroom farm, California Terra Gardens, which was part of the San Mateo County's deadliest mass shooting, has a history of workplace violence and squalid living conditions, according to county officials. The revelations came amid a flurry of developments in the Zhao's case. The 66-year-old Chinese citizen confessed to shootings in the jailhouse interview with a television station, saying he had been bullied for years and endured long work hours. A San Mateo County supervisor toured the California Terra Gardens, calling the living conditions deplorable and vowing to red tag both properties and investigate conditions at the farm. Zhao remains jailed without bail in Redwood City, behind bars in a detention facility. In an interview Thursday with NBC Bay Area, Zhao admitted that he committed the fatal shootings. The shooting suspect said he endured years of bullying and long hours working on the farm. He said he believes that he suffered from mental illness and wasn't in his right mind the day of the shootings, NBC reported. He also expressed remorse for the killings. The Alameda County Sheriff is asking for the public's help in identifying a driver who intentionally struck and injured a 77-year-old woman in Castro Valley parking lot. Warning, the following footage is extremely graphic. Viewer discretion is advised. Now, the hit and run happened about 7:25 p.m. Saturday at the First Presbyterian Church on Grove Way. The sheriff officer said the suspect's vehicle was described as a mid-2010 Nissan Altima with an unknown license plate. The sheriff office said the driver fled westbound on Grove Way toward Redwood Road. The sheriff office said the driver may have brushed up against the woman with his car, causing her to yell at him. And the driver yelled back, turned the car around, and struck her head on, knocking her onto the hood of the car and then to the ground. The woman suffered non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to the hospital to be treated. So reports the sheriff's office. Most of us would be lucky to see one Super Bowl in our lifetime, but one lucky New Englander has been to every single football Super Bowl. And this year it almost didn't happen. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
One football fan's incredible Super Bowl streak is still alive. Don Chrisman of Kennebunk, Maine, made headlines as a Super Bowl super fan who's been to every single big game since the beginning.
I still have every ticket stub and I still have every program.
Chrisman says the decades-old tradition started by accident and became habit. But this year, the streak was in jeopardy. Chrisman sold football memorabilia to fund a trip to Phoenix, but says he arrived without any tickets to the game. Then, at the last minute, thanks to a donation from Visa and Verizon, Chrisman scored once again.
We're going to send you the Super Bowl. How's that sound?
Oh my God.
All right.
A pair of gifted tickets made it official, 57 straight for this still streaking Super Bowl stalwart. Well, by now you probably know the Kansas City Chiefs are this year's champs, and if you live in New York City, you're seeing red because of it. No, not like that. It's because the Empire State Building was radiating red, celebrating the Chiefs' win from as far as the Long Island eye could see. Now let's send it over to Jim and Phil for some highlights from the big game. Hello, fans. The game we're talking about is, of course, the 19th annual Puppy Bowl. And this year was a barn burner of a colossal canine clash. Isn't that right, Jim? That's right, Phil. Always a furry fan favorite. The event featured 122 puppies from rescues and shelters countrywide. And this year's grueling, growling, gritty, gridiron game went to overtime for the first time ever, Phil. Team Rough trailed Team Fluff for most of the game, but tied it up in the fourth quarter. But in the end, it was Team Fluff hoisting the Lombardi Trophy to an 87-83 victory. For Take a Look at This, I'm Phil. I'm Jim. And I'm Jeremy Roth.
Thanks, Jeremy. Yes, it would be most fortunate for any of us to make it to just one, if not two, Super Bowls. But can you imagine making it to all 57 Super Bowls? This is a feat unto itself. And that makes for the perfect segue into our next story. What is our next story? The Super Bowl. And it's the big story. And for that, we go to Ariana.
Thanks, Chris. Although the Super Bowl is about football, some folks tune in to just watch the halftime show, which happened to be Rihanna this year, who performed for the 2023 Super Bowl. Here's Rihanna entering presser ahead of Super Bowl. Rihanna sat down to talk with the press on what people can expect for her halftime show performance. You can watch the full and rest of the video online. Well, there you have it, folks. It was a great performance at the Super Bowl. The Kansas City Chiefs have successfully entered the Super Bowl yet again this year. Now here's some words from the quarterback himself.
I know what it feels like to win the Super Bowl now and to lose the Super Bowl, and winning it, even though I didn't play my best game, I came through when it counted. And was able to win it. And then the loss, obviously, I left everything out there, but you lose, and that feeling you have in the locker room after it's a terrible feeling because you're so close to your ultimate prize. And so you take motivation from that and try to do whatever you can to make sure you have that winning feeling, because that's one that you can have forever as well.
Keeping it all about the Super Bowl this week, I went out this week to ask students what they thought of the big game. Here's what they had to say.
I was a little disappointed, honestly, but there's always next year, honestly. Always next year.
Yeah, for the most part, but it was more the atmosphere of like going to the Super Bowl party and hanging out with people than the overall game aspect, I guess.
It was entertaining for sure. I don't know. I feel like it could have possibly been rigged, but that's something deeper completely.
Did you enjoy it? Like, are you regretting watching it?
No, it was definitely enjoyable, especially the halftime show.
Oh, did you like the halftime?
Yeah, Rihanna. Yeah.
Watch the Super Bowl yesterday?
No, I just wait for the commercials to pop up on the internet and watch them.
Did you like the commercials?
A few hit and miss.
So the game overall, it was good for the most part, but then I understood why the Chiefs did what they did at the end to get the W, so I respect it.
Well, that's all for this week's sports news. I'm Mariana Paricio, and now back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Ariana. In other sports news, you can now dunk like your favorite basketball player. That's right, dunk an Oreo, that is. The company has created new specialty 12-packs of their cookies bearing the NBA logos. Just in time for the All-Stars games this weekend, the cookies will be sold on Oreo's website for about $40. They also will be available to buy at the All-Star events in Salt Lake City. Oreo and the NBA last teamed up back in 2021 when they released limited NBA Dynasty Oreos featuring the Bulls, the Celtics, Heat, Lakers, Spurs, and the Warriors. Finally this week in Chabot News, Food Network's TV star and winner from The Big Bake, Max Soto, opened his own bakery named Max Cakes and began selling baked desserts in downtown Hayward. In addition to making pastries, he makes custom-made orders, cakes, cookies, and so much more. Mr. Soto is now 22. He was the youngest participant in the adult baking contest on the Food Network show, The Big Bake, at the age of just 19. Max Cakes get rave reviews from his customers, and his Yelp reviews are 5-star. Max Cakes is a friendly bakery that will satisfy even the sweetest of sweet tooths cravings, and all at a very reasonable price. Max Cakes is located at 1007 B Street in Hayward and is open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's all for Chabot News this week. Thanks to all of our students and staff in the Mass Communications Department here at Chabot College for making this production possible. You can watch us anytime online at youtube.com/Chabot TV. Stay tuned to KCTV on Comcast Channel 27 for more Chabot TV.